Hey guys.
Hey.
Welcome to Bring Your Own, a bookish podcast for romance readers. I'm Brandi.
I'm Kendra.
I'm Kayla.
And today is our top books of 2025. A Bring Your Own tradition. We do this every year. We discuss our top 10 books, usually some honorable mentions. This year, we're probably going to throw in our top artists, maybe some top TV shows and movies as well. But most importantly, our top books of 2025. And also our first video episode, which is so exciting. Hey guys.
I have to make sure that I don't do anything crazy now.
Yeah,
I'm
don't
so
pick
used
your
to
nose,
just
Kayla.
Yeah, I'm just so used to
if you see me looking down a lot,
because
I'm looking at notes.
I know.
Yeah,
same.
we all have our iPads. We're all iPad kids.
Yeah, just right now, I can't help it.
I know.
So before we get started, what are we reading? What are we drinking? I'll go first. I am drinking a cookie butter tea latte. Delicious. I tried to make one for myself the other day and it was really gross. So I have been letting Daniel make them for me. And I am reading, I just finished The Everlasting by Alex E. Haro, which was our December book club pick. And it was so good. I'll talk about it more later. But I also just finished my reread of Landline, which I think I'm going to make it a tradition to reread every December because it is a December book. It is a holiday book. You don't have to read it during the holidays. It's good all year round. I read it for the first time ever in August of 2023, but it is so good. So I reread that as well. I'm in the middle of Better in Black. I'm further than the middle. I'm almost done with Better in Black by Cassandra Clare as well. And now that I finished The Everlasting, I am physically reading No Matter What by Cara Bastone once again.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yes. Forgot you started that.
I am drinking a tried and true Alani Nu pink slush and lots of water. I have a cold, so that's why, well, if you're watching this, that's why I look like this. That's why I sound like this as well if you're just listening. I brought tissue, so if you see me blow my nose, I'm so sorry. Anyways, I am reading our January book club pick, Son of Morning by Ekweke Emezi, and so far so good. I did take a little break with it, but the goal is to really power through and get it done. So then by the time end of the month rolls around, we are ready to go. We can have our discussion and we can yap about it. So make sure you join our Patreon. That's where the book club happens, and it is linked below.
Love. I'm so excited for that one.
It's really good so far.
It's probably going to be my next read after the one I'm currently reading, which I'm reading the third book in the This Woven Kingdom series, which is called
The suspense is killing
I don't have
me.
it in front of me. For some reason, I can't ever remember the names of these books ever. It's called All This Twisted Glory. Anyway,
well, those titles are great.
Yeah, I just like This Woven Kingdom, These Infinite Threads, I think was the second one, and then All This Twisted Glory is the third. I'm listening to that and sort of physically reading it. I'm kind of just switching back and forth because it's on Kindle Unlimited, which honestly, I'm surprised I still have. I don't really know why I have it anymore, to be honest with you.
Cancel it in 2026.
I know 2026
Yeah,
needs to be the year I cancel it.
I canceled mine last year.
I don't miss it. I thought I would, but it's
yeah.
I don't miss it at all.
Yeah. I need to do that. I'll make that a 2026 goal. First of the year, I need to cancel it. But I got the audiobook from the library, and I just have been also sometimes reading on my Kindle. But I'm enjoying it a lot. Like I said before, the first book is pretty boring, but it picks up a lot near the end, and then the second book was good. This one's pretty good too. So that's currently what I'm reading. And then I'm drinking, I had it's called a wake up tea or something. It's from Trader Joe's, and I had that. It's kind of like a wintry, cinnamony type mix. And then I also just have water today. Yes, ma'am.
Fun fact for you, the Trader Joe's teas are supplied by Celestial Seasonings.
Oh,
wow.
In Boulder, Colorado.
Wow.
Actually?
Yeah.
Actually? So
good to
you're
know.
drinking a Boulder, Colorado tea right now,
Oh,
Kayla.
okay. I should go look at the label and see if it
I don't think it's going to say it on there. I just know that because I know somebody who works there.
Okay.
It's my husband.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that's what's going on. Okay.
Cool.
Before we jump into all of our like books, let's just like take like 5 minutes, talk about other faves throughout the year.
Mhm.
Let's first say like, who is your top artist of the year? Mine's no shock. Mine is Haley
Mine
Williams.
either.
Well, yeah. Well, was anybody shocked? I don't think anybody was shocked by our top artists this year.
Mine,
right? I don't
mine
know.
wasn't shocking to me, but he
Yeah.
was a new to me artist this year. But I was not shocked that he was my top artist. It was Role Model.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who you saw
Yeah.
this year?
I did.
Yeah.
I saw him live, and I got to see him. I'm really excited because I definitely wasn't like a fan before this album, which is the album he blew up with. But I was an early on this train.
Mhm.
So I got to see him at a really small
Okay.
venue before
good.
like his tour blew up and they started like making the venues bigger for this tour. So I got to see him at a really small venue in Denver, which was really cool. So yeah, that one was fun. But yeah.
Cool.
Kendra, who was yours?
It was Drake.
Oh.
It was Drake, like no surprise. And actually a listener of ours messaged me on Instagram when I revealed it, or when it came out, because we do our like annual like books based on your top artists posts on Instagram. And she was like, Kendra, you need to put Drake in it next year because he was mine too. Like, and I was like, girl, yes, I will fight.
She tried to put it in this year and Kayla was like, nobody else is
No.
gonna have Drake as their top artist, Kendra.
I know. But like he's one of the top artists in the world, you know, but like I get it, like based on like who probably listens to this podcast, you're also
Right.
not listening to Drake unless I'm being shocked.
Well,
but
not listening to Drake as much as you.
you, yeah.
Yes.
Did you see that Ariana is now the most streamed artist currently on Spotify?
Mhm. And someone
Really?
said that's what happens when you spend a year cultivating a lesbian fan base.
That's so funny.
Yeah, Ariana was also in my top 5. I love her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Haley was mine. Yeah,
Miss
it wasn't
Haley
until she
Williams.
dropped her songs in August and September that I really upped those
And she's
numbers.
still pushed into your top spot. Love that for
I
you.
know. Yeah, and will I see her next year? TBD. I need to.
Yeah.
I didn't get tickets, but I'm still trying.
Fingers crossed.
I'm still trying.
Yeah.
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 Anyway.
Also in my top slots, Olivia Dean. I think all of us love that
Mhm.
album.
Mhm. I just
And-
got into that actually. Like it
Okay.
took me a minute, but like now I'm like, it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, and I loved Wolfpack's newest album, Clarity of Cal. I know that is
Okay.
not a popular one, but it's really good.
Well, the other album that made it into my top 5 that's not like super popular. I mean, it's popular amongst like a certain group is Sam Fender. I really like Sam Fender a lot. His new album People Watching was really great. So there you go. And yes, 21 Pilots. Okay, leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Kayla,
Hey,
no one asked you.
Kayla,
no one forced you to say that.
all of my 50-year-old coworkers love that
No,
album,
Jesus
Kayla.
Like no one was looking at
Whoa.
you being like, say 21 Pilots.
I know.
Like, you
I
admitted
know.
that on
I just
your
feel like I
free
need to come
will.
clean every time.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
Okay, what about TV shows? Like, what were your guys' top
Ooh.
TV shows of the year? I know my top 5, like, right off the bat.
Yeah.
Oh, off the bat. Okay,
Who
go
wants to go
ahead.
first? Yeah.
Well, I made a like a 5 top
saw your
5s
post. Yeah, it was cute.
Yeah, it was inspired by Taylor at TK's.library. But my top 5 TV shows were The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, which has been and will be on this list every year until that show stops airing. Heated Rivalry, which I'm like, I was telling
Late edition.
Daniel, late edition. I was telling Daniel, like, the way that I have fallen into this fandom and loving this show, I don't like the type of fangirl that I am for this show. And I don't like the feeling I get about it. Like, oh,
Yeah.
like there's certain books that make me feel that way too. Like, we fucking hate Jessa Hastings. Like, she's such a loser. But it's like the same feeling that I had when we like fell in love with the Magnolia Parks universe, where it's just like, oh, I love it so much. Like, oh, that's how I feel about Heated Rivalry. And like, I was like watching, I told Daniel if he ever sees me watching press on my phone to take my phone away.
Done.
Because like,
Yeah.
like, yeah, you're done. You're done. But Heated Rivalry, High Potential, which was a Kendra rec. Love that show. Nobody Wants This, which was a Kayla rec. Love that show. And Real Housewives of Miami, which is a criminally underrated Real Housewives franchise. I'm trying to get Kayla to watch it because you can skip the first 3 seasons. So you only have to watch 4 seasons. It's very short. So those are my top 5.
We'll see, Queen.
Yeah.
Mine, I also have a top 5 of 2025 posts. It's been in there for like weeks. I just was like waiting to post it because also I wasn't sure what my 5th TV show was going to be, because for sure I knew I was going to have Severance. I do love Severance. The Traitors. I love The Traitors. It's my favorite like reality competition show at the moment, and I'm so excited for the new season.
I'm so excited for the new season.
I know. The Studio. I think that show is so funny while also making me like so
Super
anxious.
Yeah.
Like, and like the secondhand
yeah.
embarrassment, but it's like, but I enjoy it. I don't know, I really love it. My favorite comedy was Overcompensating. I really love that show as well. Excited for a 2nd season. I don't know when it's coming out or if they've even shot it or if they're shooting it soon, no idea. And then my 5th spot, I was like debating. I was like, do I put The Pit? Do I put Real Housewives of Salt Lake City? Do I put Shrinking? Do I put, like, I wasn't sure, but I think in my 5th spot it's probably going to be Heated Rivalry. So I think that's what I'm also gonna put.
Yeah.
I still think that
I forgot about Shrinking.
I know. I was gonna say you love Shrinking.
I forgot about Shrinking. Shrinking would absolutely replace Nobody Wants This. You heard it here first.
Yeah, because you gave that rec to me.
Yeah, I completely forgot.
Yeah, and then for Heated Rivalry, by this time the episode comes out, the finale just aired yesterday. I really like the finale. I still think my favorite episode was episode 5 though. I think that episode was just like so good. But those are my top shows. Kendra, what about you?
Okay, so my top shows of 2025. My list is a lot longer, but I'm going to really rapid fire. I'm not going to spend much time, okay? I'm so sorry, Kayla. She's looking at me like, God damn it, Kendra. Like, anyways.
We got things to get to.
I think my number one show of the year has to go to The Pit, just because, like, it was TV at its, like, best form. It was great storytelling. And the fact that we're already getting season 2 and I didn't have to wait 2 fucking years to get it, and like that's a really complicated show to film, but it shows you that like they know how to do that shit in a timely manner, and I'm so excited for season 2. And then High Potential was my second favorite show. I love that show, and again, like another just like classic TV show. Like they're not doing anything like too crazy. It's just like a who did it every week, and I love it.
Yeah.
And then the rest, I'm gonna go really fast, I promise. Law & Order SVU. I got back into it this year. Like, I'm on season 9 right now. This season has actually pissed me off beyond repair, but I'm gonna keep going. Smiling Friends is my number 4. Smiling Friends is like the funniest fucking cartoon ever. And like anytime I'm like having a bad day or like just like need to turn my brain off, that is a show. And like I can rewatch the same clips of it over and over and over again. Like it's so fucking funny and like stupid.
I don't even really watch the show like that, but I do find myself quoting the really long guy. He's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. That guy. I say that like,
yeah,
I
Alan.
hear that audio all the time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's Alan. He's so fucking fun. Like this show is funny. My favorite character is Mr. Boss. Oh my God, he's so like his voice changes. It's so good. And then Shoresy. Also, this is why I want to say this. Shoresy was my number 5, right? Shoresy's a Canadian hockey show, super funny. It's done by the same guys that did Letterkenny.
Yeah.
The guy who created Heated Rivalry is one of the guys that helped create Letterkenny, who also helped executive produce the first 2 seasons of Shoresy. So you do know about hockey, and you're purposely choosing not to put it in.
Like, this show is intentionally not about hockey. This show is about gay hot guys doing
I thought
gay
that was
hot
like
guy
so
stuff.
funny. Like, oh, like you do know like how to like tell a story with hockey and like emphasize it, and you're choosing not to.
I was gonna send this to you guys earlier. I just forgot. I saw something on Threads. On the credits. Obviously, I'm not gonna spoil like what the credits or what happens at the end of the Heated Rivalry, but in the credits, there's a thing that says like special thanks to whatever, and they list like tons and tons of names. Do you know who's on that list? Is your guys' fave Rainbow Rowell is in a special thanks in the credits. I don't know why.
And you want to know why? Probably because she loves the gays. And
she loves the gays.
Honestly, if Jacob Tierney's reading like queer fiction, he had to have come across Simon Snow.
Yeah.
Like that's just like.
Or
I wonder if her and Rachel Reed are friends, because she was posting about Heated Rivalry every week too. Like she was on her stories posting about it. And she said on the finale day, she's like, dragged myself out of bed because the internet was spoiling me and I needed to watch the finale. It was funny.
Yeah, they
That
might
is
be
funny.
friends. I don't know. Anyway, just thought I'd let
Yeah.
you know that.
I decided that my
Yeah.
next tattoo is gonna be the landline phone.
Oh, cute.
Oh, I love that. That's so cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then number 6 was Righteous Gemstones, hilarious show. 7, Fallout. 8, Landman. 9, which I feel like is like a sleeper hit on this, is a show called Day Zero. It's a limited series on Netflix. It is so good with Robert De Niro.
Okay.
It's like twisty, turny,
Oh,
like you
yeah,
can watch it
yeah,
in one
yeah.
day. Like it's so good. And then my number 10 was Heated Rivalry. And then my 2 like honorable mentions are The Studio and Overcompensating. So it was a good year for TV this year.
It really was.
It's a
Yeah.
good year for movies too, because
Yeah, any
there's some really
movies you
good
guys wanna
movies that came
share?
out. I would love to shout out. Because I just watched it on Christmas Eve with Jared. Train
I saw your
Dreams,
post.
guys. I think as I was making my list, not only just my top 5s of 2025 and my top books list, there's a pattern that I'm noticing with a lot of my favorites. And
You love the wilderness.
And it's setting. It's desolate, beautiful places. And
That
yeah,
tracks with you.
I know. Well, I mean, yeah, if you know me at all, then you know that like makes a lot of sense. But I was so captivated by like how freaking beautiful this movie was. It's based off of a novella, I guess. And this is written and produced by the same guy who wrote and produced Sing Sing with Coleman Domingo from last year that was like really popular. And yeah, it's just like a very simple story. It's just about a logger in the Pacific Northwest in the early 20th century. And that's like literally it. But it was so beautiful. Highly recommend. Of course, I loved Sinners. Who didn't?
Yeah, I was going to say Sinners was my top movie of the year, but I couldn't really think of... I was going to do a slide on my 5 top 5s for movies, but I really couldn't think of 4 other movies that I loved besides Sinners.
I also loved Knives Out 3. If you haven't seen that yet, Wake Up Dead Man. Really good. I love the Knives Out series, so I was really excited for that one. I finally understood the Josh O'Connor hype with that movie. Like, I fully get it now. Like,
you didn't get it with Challengers?
I was going to say, you didn't
Not
understand it
really.
after Challengers?
Not really. I think the character that he played in Challengers, I was just kind of like...
Such a loser.
Loser.
Yeah.
So, but Knives Out 3,
literally.
he's really good. And then, of course...
Literally a loser.
No, I also just watched One Battle After Another. That was really good. And then...
That's on our list.
Yeah. And then
really
my
good.
favorite rom-com was Eternity.
Yeah.
This year. Very good.
My favorite movies were Interstellar. I'm like 12 years late. I don't give a fuck. That movie is like one of the best movies I've ever seen in my entire life. I watched it twice within a week. That is like, I was like blown away how much I loved it. Oh my God. And then One Battle After Another, Sinners, and then Dallas Buyers Club. So like Matthew McConaughey, like backlog. Like I get why Matthew McConaughey won the Oscar for Dallas Buyers Club, because he like really put his whole self into it. Like it was just such a great film and like really moving and touching. Like that story, inspired by a real story, really good. And then Eternity, which I really loved. Like that was just like great actors, great story, and like
So
really original
unique.
too. Yeah,
Yes.
like I just loved like the concept of it.
One thing I really liked about that movie that I see a lot of criticism in today's movies is just like the lack of color. Like, where's the color? This movie was so colorful and like pretty.
Yeah,
It was so
nice,
cool.
and it was.
Yeah.
I didn't like, based off of the ads, like people were calling it a rom-com, but like people call everything a rom-com now. But like this movie was like actually like I was laughing. Like I thought it was like really funny. And then lastly, like the movie Companion. It's about like a guy who's like dating an AI robot, but like she doesn't know that she's an AI robot, and then she finds out that she's an AI robot, and it's so good and like I think really timely with like how AI is right now, and like really like scary, because like what if that shit happens and they do turn on us, you know?
I know.
But also it's like, do they have the right to turn on us if we're using them for such things? Like she was like his sex bot. Like that's not fair.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a really good, and it's also really funny. I thought it was a good movie. Lucas Gage is also in that movie.
Interesting. Oh yeah, People We Meet on Vacation would be in my top as well, but that one hasn't.
It would, yeah.
I can tell you a movie that wouldn't make it into my top, and that's Avatar: Fire and Ash. I texted Kayla and Kendra when I walked out, and I was like, "Damn, that movie was a booty hole." Whoever told James Cameron that we wanted that much spider in this movie was lying to him.
I don't remember anything from...
Spider is that little feral kid, the little human kid that like joins their family from the second movie.
I
haven't
watched the second movie.
I haven't seen any Avatar movies, but I have seen lots of videos about that character.
He's so bad. The actor's so bad. I don't know how old that actor is in real life, but you're bad at acting. Give up on your dreams. Just kidding. Follow your heart. Get an acting coach. But also, like, Sigourney Weaver plays like a young child. And I saw this article that I screenshot and sent to Daniel because she's like a blue person, right? So it's like all CGI. So she plays like a child. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's just like, it's so weird. Sigourney Weaver, you are an award-winning
Better than
actress.
this.
Yeah.
Why are you not pitching your voice to sound like a child if you are playing a child? She sounds like a 74-year-old woman in a child's body because guess what? She's a 74-year-old woman.
Oh.
There are some really beautiful shots in that movie, and there are some really cool fucking characters in that movie that were deeply underutilized. Kendra, you always say you know a book is bad when you start rewriting it while you're reading. That is exactly what Daniel and I did on the drive home from that movie. We were like, they should have done this and this and this and this.
Yep, that's how you know.
So, anyways.
You know what movie I'm so curious about, but like I just don't really care to go see it in theaters, is Marty Supreme. With Timothy Chalamet.
Everybody loves it.
I just don't think I have a desire. The marketing I think is annoying to me. That's why it like kind of turned me off to it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just anyway.
But everyone says like he's good in it. Like he kind of like is talking
Everybody
shit.
said that he's amazing.
Yeah.
Everybody's mad because Timothy Chalamet has an athlete's mentality. Yeah, but sports are objective. You score the points. You are objectively good at the sport, and art is not objective. So it's just like, it's so. Anyways, we're a book podcast.
Yeah.
Should we
talk about books?
Let's talk about books. Let's do our honorable mentions first, if you guys have any honorable mentions.
Okay, so the first honorable mentions I'll do is like, I have 2 nonfiction books that I just like, they don't fit on this list because I'm not going to like rank them against other things. So Everything is Tuberculosis by John Green. I read towards the beginning of the year. I also got to see him speak about this book. He came to Boulder. It was really, really cool. That book was very moving. There was a lot of like very technical things in that book that were written in a very digestible way, which I thought was really masterfully done. It was great. I really loved that book. And then Know by Name by Chanel Miller. I have been wanting to read this book for years and years and years, but I have just been like working up the mental stamina to be able to read this book. I think it's a life-changing book. And Kendra said this, I believe, last year, if not 2 years ago. I can't remember when you talked about this book, but I think every woman should, I think every person should read this book, but especially every woman. And then my honorable mentions, this was really hard for me because I actually only have 3 5-star reads this year. So I had a lot of books that I was like, I don't know which books to even put on. Like all my honorable mentions last year were still 5-star reads that I just couldn't fit on my list.
Yeah.
But I didn't know, how do I put books that weren't 5 stars on my top 10 list versus which ones go in my honorable mentions? Because I did think these books were worth talking about. So I decided to do revisability for my top 10 this year. Like, which books do I think I'm going to revisit the most? Because I'm an avid rereader. And that's how I kind of decided on my top 10 list. Because this was hard to make. And I did decide I do want a top 10 just because I'm a creature of habit. And I've done a top 10 list every year since I started becoming a big reader again. So my honorable mentions, the Cassandra Clare shorts that I've read this year. So notable Shadowhunters and Denizens of the Downworld, The Secrets of Blackthorn Manor, the Better in Black, like those I wouldn't put those on my top 10 list, even though like they're incredible. I just like wouldn't really put them up there. Swept Away by Beth O'Leary, Holly by Adeline Grace, and Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid were all in my honorable mentions. I really loved all of those books. I just think that I wouldn't revisit those ones in the same way that I would revisit my top 10 books.
Okay, fair.
Atmosphere was the book that was the hardest for me to, I don't know where I would place it, but I think if I would have savored this book more instead of reading it in a day, which I did because I procrastinated our book club pick that month, I would have placed it higher. So I do think I am going to reread this one physically sometime in 2026, and that would probably have changed where I would have placed it. but those are my honorable mentions.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so for my honorable mentions, like you, Brandi, I didn't have a ton of 5 stars either. I had 5 stars, like not including like obviously rereads. These are I had 5 new to me 5-star books. So
Yeah.
my honorable mentions, The Bright Years by Sarah Damoff, which I've talked about before. It follows just a family in the throes of addiction and grief and how that just can like travel down to generations. It's one of my favorite debuts this year. I really enjoyed that book. I cried after I cried multiple times while I was reading it, but I really enjoyed that one. Intermezzo by Sally Rooney. I didn't think this would make my honorable mentions, but I've just been like thinking about it like a lot. Like I just found myself thinking about it so much after I finished it still today. So I was like, okay, I think that means I need to include that in here. The Best Worst Thing by Lauren Oakey. Again, another debut I just absolutely ate up, along with Passion Project by London Sperry. I just think that those are the 2 best contemporary romance debuts I read this year, like hands down. So love those. And then lastly, Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross. Admittedly, on my first read, I didn't think it was even going to make my honorable mentions. I knew it wasn't going to make my top books of the year. It's not because I didn't like it. There were just like, I remember when I was first reading it, I physically read it and I was like, there were certain things I just like didn't expect, and I like think I just placed maybe unfair expectations on certain things. When I read it on audio, I liked it a lot more. Like when I listened to it on audio, I was like, okay, actually I really enjoyed this. So it did make it up there after that. And I still I still really enjoyed that book. There are certain things that like aren't perfect to me, but I still really enjoyed that book. So those are my honorable mentions.
Love.
I have 2 honorable mentions because I did not read a lot this year. It's like even making my top 10, like I was going through and I was like, oh. But I like broke it up into sections. Like I feel like my top 5 is like really strong, and then my 6 through 10 is like they were great, but like it wasn't like I for sure know these are like my top 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have my honorable mentions. So the number 11 is, well, not number, I wrote it as number 11, but my first honorable mention is The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. I really enjoyed that book. I always say my one complaint is that it felt like a little too much at times. Like, enough, we get it, they're suffering, like you don't have to keep like beating them over the head. But it was like they were like, oh my god, Brandi, like there's a point in that book where it's like it was literally like one thing after. It's a good story, like a great story, and like yeah, that's a really good book. The second honorable mention is Say a Little Prayer by Jenna Voorhees, which I listened to at the beginning of the year. I love this story. It's a YA book about a girl who goes to like a Christian summer camp, but she's gay, and like her best friend is there who like she also kind of likes, but her best friend's dad is the pastor, and so it like unpacks a lot of trauma that the church has thrusted upon like queer kids. And it was like really funny and like really well narrated, and it was just a book that like I always thought about throughout the year, so really liked that one.
Amazing.
Love.
Yeah.
Okay, before we get into like our actual lists, our best books of the year, just like quickly, we wanted to like talk about a little bit of just our reading year in general, like how many we read. So we've talked so much on this podcast before about like how all of us have kind of had a strange reading year. I did read still a lot of books. I read 133 books, but that's 30 less than the year prior. So that's still 30 books is still a pretty decent amount. I read 163 books in 2024, which is crazy. Jesus. Thinking about that, I'm like, damn. And so I read less this year, and like I said before, I only had, not including rereads, 5-star reads, which isn't that much. And so it made it actually quite easy for me to create my top 10 list, which was nice.
Yeah.
I like stopped. I didn't read that much. I can't even tell you like what my exact number is either, because like I know it's less than 50. I want to say I'm in the 40s, and I'm like really close to 50. But that is like such a like drastic drop from last year, where like last year I read like so much. It was like I was reading all the time, whatever. And then like I had a lot of changes this year in my life, so like reading just like took the back seat, which like I'm not mad about, because like a lot of the stuff I was doing otherwise besides reading like was like fun. Like I was going out and hanging with friends and stuff, and like spending more time with my family, and that was fun. But then I also stopped tracking on Storygraph. So like and I didn't used to always track my books. Like which I think honestly I might still continue to do. There is just something that I really like about putting it in my notes app, but it's like, okay, I have plans to like re-spark or reignite reading in 2026. And so hopefully I can at least get back to like at least personal tracking. But yeah, I'm somewhere in the 40s. And I think last year I was like 150 plus maybe, or 140.
I think you were
100 it
above
was
me.
yeah,
You?
it was
So
it was
it
a
was like
lot, it was a
160
lot of
plus.
books last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah, I'm currently at 154 this year. I know I'll read a couple more before the year is out. At least I'll finish Better in Black. My mom decided last minute to fly out, so I probably won't get as much reading done before the new year as I was hoping, but that's okay because I get to see my mom. So that is my number for this year, which is about 40 less books than last year. Last year I was at 192.
Damn.
So, yeah, I went sicko mode last year. So,
Wow.
Something
we all
with- it ma-
did.
Do you
We
think
all
that's
did.
why so many people had bad reading years this year? Like, do you think we exhausted ourselves?
I don't know.
no, I do think last year, like, there were so many good books last year. Like,
True.
Mhm.
and like, yeah, I read the whole Shadowhunters universe last year.
Yeah, that's always gonna be like a highlight.
That's a
Which,
lot of books right
if you want to
there, yeah.
read, if you want to read Shadowhunters, now's the time. We will be doing a read along starting in February. Okay, all information can be found on our Patreon. I think you should join. If you've ever even been curious and you want to yap about it with someone, you should join us.
Yes, it's going to be so fun. Kayla's so excited.
We'll see. Again, my participation is TBD. We shall see. All right.
Okay.
Let's jump in. We're going to round robin our picks. So we're going to start from the bottom, work our way to the top. So I'll just go ahead and start with my number 10. I did include arcs that I read last year but came out this year in my favorites because I didn't include them last year. So I get to include them, which thank God, because then I'm not sure what my top 10 would be.
Yeah.
I wish.
But Brandi, it's funny
wish.
that like I'm so glad I did, but then I'm like, I don't think I would ever do that again.
Okay.
I don't know.
Like, I think I would keep
I'm
it in the year that
unsure.
I read it, but it made me more hesitant to read arcs this year because I was like, I don't want to run into like the same issue of like I can't talk about them, you know?
Yeah.
You know what's interesting is I've read I haven't read as many arcs this year as I did last year, like for
Yeah,
2026 releases, but none of the ones that I have read, which I think is only like maybe a handful, none of them would make it into my top 10, so I don't
Yeah.
have to worry about it.
Oh, so you're saying 2026 is not looking good?
No, but I've only read maybe like 4. I haven't really read that many, so
Interesting.
Oh, wait, I just got that because that means that not even the Care About Stone would, that I have not read,
which
wouldn't make
I
it
don't want to
into
say
your
anything
top
else.
10. I know, because I haven't read it
Well,
yet.
I don't think
and
so.
NetGalley
It
hates
might.
me.
I don't think so. It might.
NetGalley hates me. You hear this, NetGalley? You hate me. Approve me.
All right. Anyway, back to my number 10, which is Left to Forever by Kendra.Readz. This book
sorry.
follows... Jesus, why are we already starting out that way? Oh my God. Can't a girl say her top 10 in
Yes, I'm
peace?
sorry.
Anyway, Left to Forever by Kendra.Readz is about... What? Kendra.Readz, not DeWitt. It's about 2 divorcees, Ren and Ellis, who were, they were once like everything to each other, and they are now getting pulled back into each other's lives as their son goes off to college, and they kind of have to figure out if like the love that they left behind is really over or if it's just like unfinished. I don't know what it is about books with relationship in trouble, marriage reconciliation, second chance marriage, whatever. I kind of like, I have like a soft spot for those kinds of books. I just think there's like something about finding your way back to each other despite like different hardships that you've had or the growing apart that you guys have done. I also think that it's interesting when romance books already have a established relationship, so there's no like, maybe you see it in a flashback, but you don't like see them meeting, you don't see them like getting to know everything about each other's lives. So books like this are usually more about the uncomfortable conversations that they didn't have the first time that they now have to have. And so I think that I just love those kinds of books. And yeah, this one I really enjoyed, and again, this one also had a beautiful setting, another one with the setting that I really loved.
I'm with you, Kayla. I also
Thank you,
love that book.
Brandi.
It made my top 10 last year.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Brandi, what's your number 10?
My number 10 is One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune, one of only 2 true romance books on this list. This one was a surprise for me. I had read Carly Fortune in the past. I enjoyed Carly Fortune in the past, but this one is far and away my favorite Carly Fortune book. It prompted me to finally read Every Summer After, and this one follows Charlie and Alice. It was our very first Bring Your Own book club pick. Charlie is the brother from Every Summer After. Alice is staying with her grandma at their lake house. She meets Charlie, who is very roguish and confident, and he helps her complete a bucket list, and they find out they have much more in common than they realize, or they get along much better than they thought they would initially, I should say, because they actually don't have a ton in common, but that's maybe why they get along. So yeah, it's just like very sweet, and the last 20% of this book really punched me in the gut, which I really enjoyed. This one, I think, is one of the few romance books I read this year that I thought about more than once after I finished it. So
Yeah. That's funny because my number 10 is also One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune.
Period.
And like a lot of the same reasons, like I just thought about it more than the other romances I read this year, and it was just a good time. Like it's really cool to see Carly's like projection as an author. Oh my God, I want her to leave the water so bad, but she tells me no every time. So like, you know what, she's sticking to it. But I will say, at least like she differentiates her characters really well. Like if she wants to stay at the lake and like and the setting will always be some sort of water, I think I've learned to be okay with that because I have to give it to her. The characters are always different. So
yeah,
I really, really enjoyed that book, and I really enjoyed Charlie as a protagonist. And it was just a true like summer book. Like I think of that book and I think of summer. And then like I read it, well, for book club, we read it in like June. So like that was like the start of summer, and like that was just like perfect timing for that
I
book.
had every intention of like following along with the book club with this book because it was our very first one. I was gonna go slow. I read it in a day. Like I couldn't put it down.
Yeah,
so
good. So good.
Yeah.
All right. My number 9 now is Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, which was our October? I can't remember. It was a book club pick. Was it
because it was
September?
wedding month.
Okay, yes. For our book club, this is about Joan, who's training to be an astronaut. It's her lifelong dream. She's juggling all these different things: ambition, love, the pressure that comes with being a female astronaut, you know, in a male-dominated field, and just kind of figuring out like what she's willing to sacrifice, I guess, along the way. I read this book. It was originally either in May or June, but then I reread it for book club. And this was like just truly a stunning story for me from start to finish. I listened to it on audio both times that I read it, and Julia Whelan, of course, like we always say, the Adele of audiobooks, ate it up. Like I felt every single emotion that Joan felt in that book along with her. And there are so many characters in this book that I like loved, hated, whatever you want to call it. There were so many moments that like made me really emotional, and there were also several scenes that like I think about like all the time, like very specific scenes from that book that I just think are so well written. And Taylor Jenkins Reid, just like the research that she does for her books, I think is so cool. I just respect her a lot as an author. Like she's author, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
movie. It's a movie. Feels like a movie. Yeah. That's my number 9.
My number 9 is Real Americans by Rachel Kong. This was actually a Friends TBR pick from our friend Haley. She's at Haley McIntosh on Instagram, but she is also the host of Gilmore to Say, which is a podcast we talk about on the pod every once in a while. We've been on her podcast. She's been on ours. And this one just kind of blew me away. I mean, she loved it, so I'm not surprised I did too. It's a litfic book about generational trauma and family and what is destiny and what is you can make your own life and what things are thrust upon you and what can you really change. And it follows a family through, like I said, different generations, and as they all make their own paths. It was really beautiful and really heartbreaking, and I kept wanting good things for these characters, but in lit fic, sometimes that's not the best story and that's not the best thing for the characters. And it was just really, really, really well done. I listened to it on audio, and the audiobook is really great. So highly recommend that one. I read it really early in the year. So when I was revisiting all these books, I was like, oh my God, yeah, that one absolutely has to make my list.
My number 9 is The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. I loved this story. Now, could I tell you front to back every single thing that happened? No. But I remember the big stuff, and I remember the vibes, and the vibes were good, and I remember the gargoyle. Oh my God, I actually just got for Christmas like a shark vacuum, like Roomba type situation,
Hell
and
yeah.
can name them. And I was like, oh my God, I know what I'm gonna name it. I'm gonna name it Bartholomew.
Oh.
That's like really cute. So yeah, I'm gonna set it up like after the new year. But I just like loved it, and it was like so well narrated. And compared to Don't Fight Me, compared to like One Dark Window, I just thought like this was a much more like captivating story. But they're both really original. One Dark Window was still good. I just thought that this was like even better for me personally. Like it was, I was more interested in the vibes of this world than I was the other one. And I thought, what was the girl's name again?
Sybil
As a main character was so badass. Like I love that like she wasn't the typical fantasy heroine who like, you know,
it's
had
thrust upon her and she didn't
like
know. She was
like
already somebody important.
She was already somebody important. She was already a badass. Like she wanted so much and desired so much and like went after the things that she wanted and like was curious and knew how to stand up for herself. And I love that like it didn't take like a man for her to like already be those things. Like she was those things when we met her. So I really enjoyed that book a lot. And like the ending really did gag me. Like I will be seated for book 2.
I called the ending. I was so proud
Girl,
of myself.
I did it. I was like,
I didn't driving. And, sorry, this is so bad. Don't arrest me. I was driving. I was at a stoplight, but I was texting Kayla. I called the ending. I called the ending. I called the ending.
One Dark Window did catch some strays, but I'll allow it for now. And my number 8 is another book I read last year. And another one of the very few actual contemporary romances on my list, Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. Of course. Love this book. This book follows competitive diver Scarlett, who ends up in like this arrangement, you could call it, with decorated swimmer Lucas, as they both have like, you know, very specific needs that the other can fulfill.
In the bedroom.
In the bedroom. So this book is like definitely my favorite Ali Hazel book. Well, I say definitely. Like I did struggle where to place it originally. Like, is it first? I don't know. That's scary. It's scary having like a new number 1 from like an author that you really love, especially one that has like so many books. Mm-hmm. And this one did take first place for me. I just think Ali Hazelwood for me, like maybe her and Carly of Carly's next book is like also really, really, really good. For me, they're like the main 2 gals doing it, like for me in the contemporary romance space. And I read everything that she puts out, no matter what at this point. Like even if it's shit, I'm going to read it. Novellas. Yeah. Like we're locked in for life at this point. She doesn't have anything announced right now, and I hope she does take a break because she's been like go for so long. But this one, she
likes it though.
I know. But if I ever do miss her, I know like where home is and where I can go back to, and that's probably Deep End. I reread this book this year as well. And I love it so.
Love it. My number 8 is Listen for the Lie by Amy Shintera, which was another Friends TBR recommendation from our friend Bryn, who is at Brandos.Books. This one is about, I've talked about it a lot this year just because like I think it's so unique. Like I had never really read anything like this before. It is a like suspenseful mystery book, but it also has like this through line of romance in it. I just thought it was so cool. It's by no means a romance book, but it has this through line of romance that was like very intriguing to me as somebody who is primarily a romance reader. And it is about a girl who everybody in her smallish hometown thinks that she killed her best friend. Her best friend's murder has gone unsolved this whole time. And she thinks that, or everybody in their hometown thinks that she did it. Her grandma asks her to come back to this hometown. She finds out that there is a podcaster there, a very famous podcaster, true crime podcaster, who's trying to crack the case. And he wants to interview her. She's never told her side of the story before. My favorite thing about this book is the audiobook, because the audiobook kind of acts like a podcast because the book is written that way. So
That's
in the
cool.
audiobook, yeah, you hear the podcast as if it's a podcast in an interview format, but then the story is also being told as well. So it's really cool. I thought it was such a great listen. I've recommended it to a bunch of people, and every single person I've recommended it to has come back and been like, oh my God, I love that. So that one is number 8 for me.
My number 8 is Some Kind of Famous by Ava Wilder. I really enjoyed this book. It was just like a nice time. Ava Wilder to me is like tried and true. I mean, we're 3 books in, so maybe her 4th book. I know she'll always be like an auto buy for me no matter what, but so far she's gone 3 for 3 for me. Story-wise, I don't know, like each of her books I like something different about them, and that's why it makes it really hard for me to rank them. But I will say that this one definitely had my favorite female main character that she's ever written, and I thought it was just like really interesting insight into the mind of like an older celebrity who did grow up in the spotlight. And the whole time I was reading, I was thinking of like obviously like a Taylor Swift and Olivia Rodrigo too. Like I felt like I was like reading what Olivia Rodrigo could potentially be like in like 10 years. I mean, I don't obviously Merritt goes through a lot of shit that I would never wish upon Olivia Rodrigo, but it was just really good, and it was nice to see like familiar faces. And it was a book that I anticipated for a really long time. And so that payoff of it being good, I was like, ah, yay, because I was
Yeah.
really nervous because she like scrapped a whole other book and then wrote this one. It was really good, stunning cover, and yeah, I was really happy with it.
Yay. Love.
Okay, number 7. My number 7 is Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaughey, which I read, I think, in Q1 of this year. It follows the isolated Salt family on like a sub-Antarctic island in the middle of nowhere that houses this like very vital seed bank. And this seed bank is basically, if the world ends, these seeds will help us regrow all of our food. But their routine is kind of like shattered when this mysterious woman named Rowan washes up on shore during this really scary storm, and it kind of forces all of them to confront past traumas, secrets, and also just the looming climate crisis as they kind of like struggle to trust each other and decide what or who to save. And this book I listened to on audio, and it's a full cast of narrators, and each person, like all the kids have such good voices because there's like I can't remember how old he is. I think he's like 8. There's an 8-year-old, there's a 17-year-old, there's an 18-year-old, and then the 2 older main characters. This book was super moody, and again, the setting, it's very desolate, it's very unique. I just loved it. Imagine like one of the most desolate, like isolated islands you can think of. That's where this takes place. There's a lot of nature involved. There's like, they have animals on the island like penguins and seals and walruses and all these kinds of different things because the family lives there, you know, by themselves. So they know these animals, they like form relationship with these animals and different things like that. So if you like mystery, but you like stories about families, and also you like the environment and you care about saving it, then I think that you will like this book. Not to get too woke, but
Woke on the pod.
yeah, woke on the pod. And also the author's like journey when she was writing this book, like she went to all these different like really isolated islands that like scientists live on like year round, and that was like really interesting to like hear about her journey doing research for this whole book.
That is cool.
Yeah.
My number 7 is another true contemporary romance. It is The Good Part by Sophie Cousins. I found Sophie Cousins last year through Kayla when she recommended Is She Really Going Out With Him? And through PRH Audio. Thank you, PRH Audio. I love you. Please let me back in. Please, please, please. I have listened to a couple of different ones of her books, which I like. When I posted about this book, a lot of people came out of the woodwork and were like, oh yeah, I've been a Sophie Cousins stan for years, like since 2020. I was like, oh damn, okay. She's shooters. The Good Part is about a woman who, it's basically 13 going on 30 vibes. She wishes that she could just skip to the good part of her life. She's in her 20s right now. She's grinding at work. She's super poor. She's going on shitty dates with shitty men. And she's saying, I just want to skip to the good part of my life. So she just wakes up and she's married to a really hot dude. She has 2 really cute kids. She's working at her dream job and she's living in an amazing house. So she's trying to navigate what the fuck is going on, and am I supposed to stay here? Because like she's obviously in love with this man. This husband that she's married to is a great guy, and she has these beautiful kids, but she has no fucking clue what she's doing. Like, am I supposed to go back? Am I supposed to change things? It was a very charming book. And I'm going to throw an additional honorable mention in there, Before I Do by Sophie Cousins was another great one as well. So yeah, the good part.
Cool. You keep saying that, like, okay, cool. Great.
Anyway, my turn.
So my number 7 is Swept Away by Beth O'Leary, which is something that, wait, did I read that last year or this year?
I think this year at the very beginning.
Okay, yeah, I knew I read it as an arc. I just
Yeah.
couldn't tell when I read the arc. Actually, I think I might have read it at the end of last year. It doesn't matter. It came out this year. It's on this list.
Yep.
And I did reread it when the audio came out, and the
Me
audio
too.
is so good. But I
So
thought
good.
as a romance, this was just so unique. Like, every Beth O'Leary book is unique and, like, could literally be a movie. Like, she writes so cinematically, but so, like, simplistic at the same time. But I don't think I've ever read a romance that had, like, my heart racing the way that this one did,
I
because
know, dude.
she raised the stakes for these characters so much and, like, followed through with them. I thought this was going to be a book where, like, the main issue of them, the whole premise is, like, they get swept away after a one-night stand on a houseboat. I thought that was going to be resolved, like, halfway through, and then maybe we just, like, get some other banter stuff and it end cute. No, like, she's like, if you're going to be swept away, it's hard, and it's, like, horrifying.
And you might die. Very serious,
And she like played out like not obviously every possible scenario, but like so many possible scenarios of like what could happen to people when they're in that situation, while also making these two people fall in love, which I thought was just really, really well done. And I love Beth O'Leary. I haven't read her entire backlist, but every book of hers that I have read so far, I've just enjoyed. So yeah, she is someone that I think is always pushing the envelope, and maybe we like separate her from the author conversation because like she's not from here, and like we know that she is just like bigger in the UK, and like the US, her marketing is just like not that great here. But I need to like start including her in conversations where I'm like, no, like she I think is one of the great romance authors that we have right now, who is like actively producing quality work.
She's teaching courses at
No,
Alamo
literally. Oh yeah,
Community
she's at Alamo Community College, begging for people to take her course. Like, please, like I know so many people that would benefit from her. I will give 50% off tuition in the new year. Please come to school.
Kendra's running an end of the year sale. Quick.
No, literally, we are a for-profit school.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Number 6, almost to the top 5, but my number 6, this was another one that I read. It was one of my last books that I read in 2024.
I think I know what this is.
And this had me in a choke hold for so long. And I mean, it still does. I love this book. It's The Favorites by Lane Fargo.
Knew it.
Which is a book that is a Wuthering Heights retelling. It's very dramatic. It's about 2 ice dancers, Katarina Shaw and Heath Rocha, chronicling their very intense, obsessive, toxic career years later, that they go from basically childhood poverty to the Olympic Games and winning gold. Again, another full cast. It's kind of told in like sort of a documentary style in between chapters, and it takes place over the course of I don't even know how many years, like 20 or 30 years, something like that probably. It was just like so enraptured by the story. I could not stop listening. It explores, ambition, it explores trauma, complicated love, there's scandal involved, there's sometimes a little bit of mystery, and I just devoured it. It hit me at the perfect time of year and could not get enough.
My number 6, I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to do a whole series, and I'm going to do the Hathaways series by Lisa Kleypas. This is a historical romance series, and it is my favorite historical romance series from Lisa Kleypas. And I just love this family so much. They are so weird and quirky. The whole premise of the series is that the Hathaways they're not a good rich family. Like, they're bad at being proper. They're bad at it. They are kind of a wild bunch, and it makes them hard to fit into the proper society, and it makes her really endearing and really lovable characters. My favorite from the series is Married by Morning, which is the 4th of 5 books, but honestly, they're all worth reading. Even my least favorite of them is still worth reading. They're all so fun. That's my number 6. Cool.
My number 6 is Deep Cuts. Cool. I had to like physically restrain myself from saying it. That's why I took a deep breath and I was like,
You're like,
cool. Anyways, my number 6 is Deep Cuts by Holly Brickley. I loved this book. I've talked about it quite a bit here on the pod, but it was truly like, now we're getting into territory of like the few books that like really stuck out for me this year. And this was one of them. I just love this story so much. I love the main character, Percy. It follows a girl named Percy, and I believe the guy's name is Joe. Am I making that up?
No.
His name is something. You'll learn it if you read it, and he will piss you off.
It's Joe.
But it follows their relationship as they go from like friends to something more to just like a disaster, from the time that they meet in college to the time that they're well into adulthood, and they share a love of music. And the book is told from like Percy's point of view, and then you also get like, she's a music journalist / critic, and so like you get like some of her just like entries on music. And the one that I think about all the time is she wrote an article about Outkast, and when they were like going through their breakup, and they did that like double joint album, and it was just like one of those things that it was like so well researched, but I didn't feel like I was reading a research paper. Like it was just like written like I was like actually like if Percy was a critic online, like it was like I was listening to that, like someone that I would admire their takes on stuff. And I thought that was like the author did a really good job of like pulling that off. And then the relationship also made me like cuckoo bananas. Like, God, that man made me crash out so bad. He was such a fucking loser. And Percy, like, God bless her. But yeah, it was a really good time. And it's really short and to the point, which I really enjoyed, because they definitely have a saga where like we could have gotten a lot of like useless shit between them. But she did a good job of like highlighting the important moments, and still making it like about their relationship, but also about Percy and her own journey. And I really enjoyed it. And yeah, so I think if you just like love music, then you'll like this book. I think if you like the Swiftologist, like you watch his content, or like you like watching content similar to the Swiftologist, because I am admittedly a big Swiftologist fan, you will like this book if you like music criticism and cultural criticism, but you want it through a fictional lens, but also with a messy relationship.
All right, we're finally in top 5 territory. An hour in, guys, we finally made it to top 5. Okay. My top 5 is, or excuse me, my number 5 rather, is One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune, which of course has already been mentioned on the other girls list. Follows burnt out photographer Alice, who returns to her childhood lake house in Barry's Bay with her grandma. And then of course she runs into Charlie, the very charming, like, golden boy. And they cross off her little bucket list and fall in love. This was like the romance book of the summer for me. Like Kendra said, it just screams summer. It hit everything I would look for in a summer romance book, or just like a romance book in general. It doesn't have to even be summer. It was super fun. It had great characters. I like swooned. There were funny moments, and it was also just like really heartfelt. I got pretty emotional during certain scenes, and it was incredible. I read this in March, actually, so not during the summer. I read it originally in March, and then I reread it on audio when it came out. And again, Carly is also just one of those people that's really good at setting and putting you there with the characters and the people. And Charlie and Alice are very important to me. And even though this one is my favorite by her, I'm still really nervous / excited for the show to come out. We shall see how that goes.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about it. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, and then they just like last week she just released a bunch of photos from set and everything like that, and I'm very curious to see how it will go. That's my number 5.
Love. My number 5 was easy for me, so the rest of the ones on this list were difficult. But top 5 was easy. Number 5, New Edition, The Everlasting by Alex Nero.
Yes, I knew it.
Yes, you girlies knew I would love this book, and I absolutely did. After I stopped feeling stupid as fuck for the first 35, 40 pages. I felt dumb as fuck. I had no clue what was going on. And yeah, it follows. I really honestly don't even want to say
Yeah, going
anything.
blind.
Go in blind, but it's incredible. It's nothing like you'd expect. And even when you think you have a grasp of what's going on, you don't, which I think is the coolest thing about this book. About halfway through, I was like, okay, I know what's happening and it's going to happen like this, and then it doesn't happen like that. I really just I got so much more out of this book than I expected, and it was really masterfully done. We've said on the podcast before, if you've listened to past episode where we talked about this book really should be read physically. The audiobook I ended up doing sometimes. I would listen to it while I was also reading it. That was really fun. People have coined the term immersion reading on Book Talk for that. That was really fun because the audiobook is really, really great. The narrators are great, but I do think seeing the words on the page and seeing how it's written is really cool. I really loved this book. I finished it and immediately handed it to Daniel, and I was like, this is your next read, because I think he will love it. He's huge into fantasy, and I just think like the way that the story is gonna really blow him out of the water. Yeah.
I love it.
Me too. So that's my number 5.
Slay. Didn't say cool. Oh, no, I just did. My top 5, these are like the books where I'm like, this was like the easiest part of making this list. And I think I gave every book that I'm about to say 5 stars. So,
okay.
But there are 2 books on here that I did read last year's arcs that I got to save for this year, which I feel like you guys will know what they are. Number 5 is Tom Lake by Ann Patchett. I randomly decided to read this book. I had seen it when it first came out because I didn't know who that lady was, until this book came out. But when it came out, it was just like one of those books where everyone's like, oh my God, she's back, like another Ann Patchett. And I was like, who the fuck is Ann Patchett? And like the cover just looks so like it's kind of a plain cover. Like there's nothing really like unique about it, but I would just like see it all the time. And then when I was first curious about it, I did look it up on audio and I saw that it was narrated by Meryl Streep. So like for years, it's always kind of been like in the back of my head that like if I wanted something to listen to, I would give that one a chance. And I don't know what possessed me this year. I think it was like during the summer, like August, maybe July or August, when I decided to pick this up. I had an Audible credit, used it on it, and immediately was like just so engrossed in the story. And the story is so simplistic. Like it's just about a woman in her like late 50s who is at home with her entire family during COVID. They run and operate a cherry tree farm. So if you're an Emily Henry fan, a Million Junes fan, like the setting will feel very familiar because she's in Michigan as well. And her daughters are like, Mom, you have to tell us a story of when you dated this like now famous movie star. And so it's just her mom going back and telling the story of how she dated this guy when she was like in her 20s. It's so well done, and how information is revealed in that book is just incredible to me. Like I get why people were like, oh my gosh, she's back, like Ann Patchett. I'm like, oh, like this woman can actually like really write and like masterfully tell a story. And there's like a part that I'm like in awe of, but it's so like if I were to tell you, it's so simple. Like you'd be like, what? But how it was done, I was like, this was great how that was revealed. And obviously you have Meryl Streep in your ear just like giving you a good like a good performance. Like I love when like celebrities that like we know that can act in real life come and do audiobooks. It's always a treat. So I really love Tom Lake. It is very simplistic though. So I think if you are someone that is used to like literary fiction being a little bit more dramatic, then like maybe this, not that it won't be for you, because I do think once you get through it, you'll be like, oh, that's a good story. But I do think it can be a little harder to grasp if you are used to like a little bit more drama. But there's still a lot of shit that happens in this book. And it touches on some really, really important topics and deep topics. So maybe check your trigger warnings. I was highly impressed. It was really good.
Love.
Amazing. All right, my number 4, another book I read last year that is making it this year. This is my last contemporary romance pick. I had 4 out of the 10 books were contemporary romance picks, and they were all books I read as arcs. And it's Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Bastone. What haven't you heard about this book already on this podcast? But again, if you haven't heard about this book or you don't know what it's about, it follows Lenny, who recently lost her very, very bestest friend, her soulmate, as she is attempting to pick up the pieces of her life. And she meets Miles as she is nannying Miles's niece, and Miles kind of helps her along her grief journey. But yeah, like I said, what can't be said that has already been said about this book? I had such a great reading experience with this one. I kind of took my time, read it physically. I annotated it like to hell and back, and I kind of was just like kind of isolated reading it because these two had already read it before me, but I kind of just had like my own experience reading it because they like were singing its praises so much. I was like a little bit nervous, like what if I didn't feel the same way? That's always a little bit scary, right? But I kind of isolated myself reading this one, and I took my time, and yeah, I had a fantastic experience. If you want to hear more about the book itself, we of course did an interview with Kara earlier this year. You can go listen to that, and it was a really great interview, and yeah,
So
beautiful
fun.
book.
Yeah, beautiful book. My number 4 is The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. I also love this book. I think this book mostly caught me by surprise, and that's part of the reason I loved it so much. I was like not enjoying what I was reading, especially around this time of year, and it was just like such a breath of fresh air, and it was just like so well done. Like the humor that's woven into the book was really like lovely, and exactly what Kendra was saying. Like I love that Sybil was already somebody. Like she was already important. She was already somebody of note, and I'm really excited to see what comes next in this series. I'm chomping at the bit. Like I think about this book very often. So that's my number 4.
My number 4 is The Everlasting by Alex E. Harrow. Yeah, love this book. Okay, when I read this book, I locked in like I hadn't locked in the whole year. I read it completely
She
physically,
still got
no
it.
audio. Yeah, I was like, oh, like I really still got it. And I remember like I had to focus so much on it. So like I went to the library to like sit there and like read. I loved it so much, and it was so unique, and it was so funny. And we've been struggling all year. We're like, where are the writers? Where are the writers? Everyone is truant from my school, not Alex. Not Alex. She is also teaching there. She is showing up every day, like writing the curriculum, truly, because as a writer, holy fuck, she has to feel like the coolest person on planet Earth that she pulled off that book. Because it's not like when you try to
So
like lay out
impressive.
all the threads of that story, which again, we're not going to go into detail because like we do think you should go in blind, and you might be a little confused, but trust the process as you go along. It won't last long. But like if you lay out all the threads of that story, my mind is a little blown. How did I love that feeling when I'm like, how did they do it? Like how did she come up with this? And not only is it a good story, it's also, and this is like when like writing is like, or storytelling is at its best, it's also like she's defending things that are happening in real life currently. So there are topics discussed in that book that really assert her position as a person on things, and really makes you question like what is happening currently in the world. But she's putting it in a fantastical world with like characters that don't, like, these are not real people, but they're going through real things, and it's not in a preachy way. That's the important part. Like it's so simplistic and true to them, to where like it's almost like if you don't root for them to overcome whatever they're going through, you're a shitty person. And that tells me a lot about you. And then if you are rooting for them, then it's like, aha, then why do you feel this way about
In real life.
XYZ
Yeah.
in real life? So it was just amazing start to finish. And I loved just like it's written in third person, but I just love the narration of it, and not like the audio narration, but like the actual like narration of the story as it goes along.
Because they're speaking
and
to somebody else. They're not necessarily speaking to the reader. They're speaking
it's not third
directly to
person. It's
somebody
written in
else.
it's written in second person. So I have rarely read a book like that. Like I would read
Same.
fan fictions like that. But like, and they would always be like angsty, like dramatic
Yeah.
like stuff. But this was
Not like
so
other girls.
fun.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah. And it was just so good.
Since I did that immersion reading, like we said, like try and incorporate the physical if you can, but the audiobook with that second person, oh, you guys, the narrators did so good.
Okay,
the narrators
maybe
did so good.
I'll go and like on a reread and I'll do it. But yeah, I just like I loved it so much, and I finished it so fast. And I really thought that like after I read that, I was gonna like lock back in and like keep reading.
It's okay.
Sometimes the book is so good it puts you in a slump because it's so good. Like,
but
true.
I knew then. I was like, oh, bitch, you still got it. Like, I can really finish a book
You flex the
fast.
muscle
If
a
it's
little
good,
bit.
though.
Yeah.
Like, the book has to work with me. It
Right.
can't be a sludge, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, love The Everlasting. Again, it was our December book club pick. If you want to hear us talk about that book in depth, go to our Patreon and you can listen to our unedited thoughts on it.
Scary. Always scary for that. Okay, top 3. I feel like you guys probably know what mine are going to be.
You guys should know mine. Yeah.
Yeah, I know yours. I know yours. And I know yours, Brandi, too, actually. Now that you posted your top 5 the other day, I know. Okay. All right, my number 3 is... Wait, which one of you wants to guess what number 3 is? Nobody? Okay. It is The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig.
Oh,
okay.
Number 3.
Duh.
I know.
Okay.
Obviously, you knew it was going to be up there.
Sorry. Yeah.
It's okay.
I was a little like, what?
So, again, you can blame it on the cold. It's fine.
Yeah.
Brandi and Kendra have already said a lot about this book. But yeah, after her fellow diviners vanish, this prophetess named Six, or Sybil, whatever you want to call her, flees her like cloistered life with this knight named Rory as they try to expose this conspiracy that she has been believing her whole life. And I've said this before, Rachel Gillig, for me, can do no wrong. I've said that if she created a cult, I would follow her into it. Like,
Let's unpack that.
No, we don't have to. But this was like truly the first big fantasy win for me this year. I've read a lot of actually quite good fantasy this year, but this one was like the first, like, oh my God, hands down, 5 stars, no question. Like, I've read a lot of fantasy that was like maybe kind of close or, you know, not quite there, but this one was like no question about it. And if there was like an award to give for authors who create the best atmosphere, she would win.
Oh,
you
I
know?
would give her that. Yeah.
She just creates something unlike so many other fantasy authors to me. She always has super unique elements that make me just devour her stories. Like, for instance, a talking gargoyle named Bartholomew. Like, that's just like really fun. One of the biggest honors of my life is one of my friends changing my contact name in their phone to Bartholomew. I was like, oh my God, I'm so touched. Like
your brand.
Yeah, my brand. I just love Rachel Gillig. Like, I don't know what else I can say about her. I love her. Rachel, if you're listening, I love you. Please come on the podcast. Thank you so much.
Love that. My number 3 is Reaper at the Gates by Sabaa Tahir.
Yes.
That is the third book in the Ember and the Ashes series. That is my favorite one of the 4. A Sky Beyond the Storm is the last book. Also incredible. Just a little too much pain in that one for me to make the list. But A Reaper at the Gates, just incredibly written. The characters at that point are so fleshed out and so endeared to you that you're just like, oh my gosh, Helena Quilla, get behind me, which is crazy because in book 1 I'm like, I don't care if this bitch lives or dies. Like, it's crazy.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
And Sabaa Tahir is a great writer and she's ruthless, and A Reaper at the Gates, one of my very first reads of the year and one of the most impactful, and it's so good. Yeah.
Kendra.Readz that series when?
Listen, I told you. I got the first book, 2026.
I know.
I'm trying to lock back in.
I know.
Okay?
I believe you. What's your number 3, Queen?
My number 3, gotta give it to Deep End by Allie Hazelwood.
Yeah, you do.
Now, yes, I did. Now, I remember this whole reading experience. I did read it at the end of last year, and I've literally like not shut the fuck up about it since then. But it did come out this year, so I put it on this year's list. Loved this book from I can't even say from start to finish because the start was a little rough.
We were nervous.
I was like, oh, like what's happening? Like, Jesus Christ, it's taking so long to like get there. And then once I was there, I was like, oh, I can't put it down. And I remember I read the last 70% of that book in one sitting, which is rare for me to do. I'm not a one sitting type of girl. But I sat on my couch and I locked the fuck in, and I could not stop thinking about them for weeks. Like, everything. And a book is good when we start creating, like, we're in a big group chat with our bookish friends that we talk about on here, who we all used to go to book conventions with. But you know what book is good when, like, we all start reading it and then we have to create subgroup chats for that book because we don't want to spoil it for the other people. And we were doing that with Deep End and, like, sending stuff and, like, truly, Brandi, how you were talking about, like, heated rivalry, like, being a fan, like, Deep End gave me, like, that feeling for, like, a good, like, 4 weeks. I could not shut the fuck up. I was rereading
like
things
everything.
constantly.
Yeah.
Like, I was just so impressed by Allie's, like, work, and I just love Scarlett and Lucas as characters so much. Like, they're so just, like, great and not flat, and she takes them both on a journey, which Allie can struggle with sometimes. But this is truly some of her best work, and that is why, unfortunately, I will always also be reading what she does because, you know, she did write, like, 2 duds this year for me, personally. But
when are you gonna read her novellas from this year?
I started the one that's on Spotify, Unbound. Whatever it's called. I need to finish it. I just, like, it was, I started it, like, towards the end of marathon training, and, like, life was just a little chaotic. So I just never finished it. But yeah, Deepen, Forever Famous. I cannot listen to Nasty by Ariana Grande without thinking of this.
Literally was just looking at some of our old posts, and we did that, like, lyric one, and I read the Nasty one, and I was like, oh, they are,
like, they're crazy. Them. And, like, it was just, like, we've talked a lot this year about, like, how smut has, like, changed in romance books and how it just feels like not important anymore in the books. It's just, like, there to be there. But I thought Allie did such a good job of, like, taking their sex life and, like, incorporating it into the plot and, like, watching them grow as characters, like, in and outside the bedroom. And that's always been, like, one of our favorite things in the pod, when an author can accomplish that. I hope Allie does it again. And I hope she writes more new adult books, because I think her writing college students and not people who are in postgrad was, like, really fun and really good. Yeah. I think it allows her characters that silliness that she likes to do sometimes. I excuse it because I'm like, oh my God, she's only 20 years old. You know, she's not 28 acting like this. But yeah, it was so good.
All right. Yeah, we all love that one. Okay, my number 2 and my number 1, I struggled with which one to put where. So sometimes I feel like they could be interchangeable. I don't know. But my number 2 is The Everlasting by Alex E. Harrow, which, again, all 3 of us have on our list. We've kind of danced around what it's, like, about because we think it's best to go in blind. I'll just say that it follows a historian named Owen who is obsessed with the legend of Sir Una Everlasting, who was a knight who basically helped build the nation of Dominion. And that's just kind of what it follows. I'll leave it at that. I was just kind of struck by the writing from the very first page. I know that, like, I've seen several, not just you, Brandi, I've seen other people say too that, like, they kind of initially struggled with maybe the first, like, 20%, I don't know, something like that with what happens there. But for me, the writing just made it so unique that I was eager to read certain things again to see.
I think that if you are somebody who gets discouraged by being confused in books, which is like me, like when I get confused in books, I get frustrated and I tend to, like, stop. Don't start this book until you have, like, an hour to sit down and read the first 40 pages.
Yeah.
Because I started this book when I only had, like, 20 minutes. I read 6 pages and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will say,
I would agree with that, because I think when I sat down to read it, I read the first 50 pages, like, in one sitting. And so I was, like, locked in.
Yeah, I don't remember how much I read at first, but I'll admit that I reread the prologue. I read it again. I was like, wait, what? And then I went back and I read it again because I was like, okay, I need to make sure I understand this. It touches on history, who writes that history, who gets to decide what the history is. So, you know, propaganda as well, love, gender norms, what words mean, etc. And I just, like what Kendra said, all the threads that she pulled together, I was just, like, amazed by the end. I was like, oh my God, how did you think of that? How'd you remember that? I didn't remember that. You know, like, it was just so cool to read. And I just ate it up. I ate it up.
You know that gif of Scarlett Johansson in that movie where, like, she can control fucking time? It's on Twitter all the time when she's like, and everything around her stops.
Yeah.
I imagine, like, that's, like, Alex E. Harrow, like, trying to figure it out. She's
that's her. Yeah. That's my number 2. Oh, and if the Venn diagram of The Knight and the Moth and the Everlasting, there's some overlap there.
There's
Sure,
some overlap, but
the
they're
night,
so like they're so
Mhm.
different from each other, but they're like the best things about both of them are so similar.
It has,
Yeah.
again, they both have to do with history and propaganda and lies that you're told throughout your life
Yeah.
and history. And I'm just like, okay, you girls should connect. Love you too. Anyway,
And you should both come on the pod.
I think, I do want to say, like, don't put two bad bitches against each
Oh,
other,
geez.
but
Oh,
I
no,
do think Alex E. Harrow, if they showed up to work, she would be paid slightly higher. Like, Alex E. Harrow, okay, in my school,
Like you
they're
said,
both
no bad
teachers.
bitches.
Alex O'Hara is like
You've read one
202
book by her, mind
English,
you.
and Rachel Gillick is like 101, Still great. They're
Whoa!
the professor. They're
No, because Kayla, because
One
these
one's
girls
crazy.
need it. Because these girls need it.
Yes, they
like
need, like,
Rachel's
they're
helping
teaching.
these girls.
Yeah, Rachel's still a teacher. She's still clocked in. But I think Alex, like, you have to take Rachel to get to Alex. And granted, yes, that's based off of one book. But if that's a curriculum, if it's
You
only
just
the
said
night and
don't
the
put
mob
bad
and the
bitches
everlasting,
against each other. That's crazy.
then you know what? You're so
Anyway.
right. I can't.
Anyway.
I'm still thinking about the Everlasting. That book is so fucking good. Okay.
Yeah.
It should go higher on my list. Anyways, my next book, number 2, Definitely Better Now by Ava Robinson. I read this book back in January. I have not stopped thinking about it. I've read it again since. It is a literary fiction book following a girl named Emma, who at the very beginning of the book is celebrating 1 year sober, and she believes that all of the problems in her life are now going to magically be fixed because she has reached this milestone, and she thinks she's definitely better now. Haha, title of the book. But she realizes that she has a lot more work to do beyond just her sobriety, and it's just a really beautiful book. There's exploration of grief in the book. There is a relationship in the book. There's a lot going on, and I related to Emma a lot in the book. I related to a lot of her flaws, which I love when I can do that with a character because it lets me give grace to myself because I give so much grace to the character. And I just adored this book. I can't believe it was a debut. Huge bouquet of roses to Miss Ava Robinson. Can't wait to see what you write next.
No, she is a professor. I know that.
Yeah.
She teaches writing. So she's also at my school. I love that I know who the teachers are. I wish I just had more students, please.
Yeah.
Because I had to kick Jessa Hastings out, bro. Like, you can't come here anymore. Like,
Expelled. Yeah.
My number 2 is Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, which, we've talked about already here today. I love that the books that we have in common are like true standouts. So I think if you're going to take anything from this episode, like if you see a book and it's on all 3 of our lists, it's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved this book. And TJR is just in a lane of her own when it comes to like writing historical fiction. I don't read a lot of historical fiction, right? But I would classify like TJR as like writing historical fiction through a very contemporary lens. It feels like this book could have only been written today. It's not like a book that like could have taken place in that time period and been out then about the same subject. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but every book of hers that I've read, I've enjoyed. I haven't read a book of theirs that I haven't enjoyed yet, but I also haven't read everything. So like, take that with a grain of salt. But I loved this book so much, and I loved just like every little thing she had to say. And again, we have a podcast episode on it, and you can go listen to all of our thoughts, my bad, in detail there. But I will say, when I watched Interstellar for the first time, I was like, oh my God, TJR. Like, I know she had this movie on repeat when she was crafting this book. And I think it just like made me like really like space. Like, I'm still very scared of it because like, oh my God, space is like very scary. But I think space is like a really good like metaphor to like put people through some shit, because it really is like the unknown for so many people, and like taking that risk to go out there and see what can be for you. And I think both Interstellar and Atmosphere focus on that. And I think about with this book is when Kayla didn't know that it was going to be LGBTQ. And I was like, Kayla, it's literally, you look at the cover, the US cover, you see that woman and you're like, that's a straight woman. And then you see that it's Taylor Jenkins Reid and you're like, okay.
My gaydar is broken.
It's on like every LGBTQ list ever.
It was so funny.
I'm
But also,
sorry.
yeah, Julia Whalen, Miss Adele of audiobooks herself, like we said earlier, just like killed it. But also shout out Kristen DiMercurio because she did a really good job as well. And the
Yeah, I love her.
last fucking 10% of that book, I was just sitting on my couch sobbing. Like it completely like shook me to my core. And that is like the beauty of a good story and a good finale. Like that can be really hard in a book to land the finish. And holy fuck, did she do it. And there's just so much about like God and the universe, and I just loved it. So if you haven't read it yet, I like please go do it. It's so good.
Okay. Number
one.
one. Let's go. Okay, I think you guys know what mine is. But again, I just honestly feel like my like top 3 could be interchanged because like they're all so good. But I went with the one that like probably left the most impact, which was The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. I read 3 Kristen Hanna books this year. I've read 4 total, but I like years ago read The Four Winds, and then this year I read The Great Alone, The Women, and The Nightingale. And The Great Alone by far and away is my favorite one. It follows a family in the 1970s seeking a fresh start in the very desolate, isolated Alaskan wilderness, and they're kind of pushed to their limits with that isolation. They have to learn how to survive, and then there's a lot of other things that just kind of collide during one especially brutal winter for this family. I was just so invested in Lenny's life, the main character, the daughter of this family, from start to finish. It's, of course, with Kristen Hanna, you expect a lot of blows. You know it's going to be super emotional, but still this story took turns that I wasn't fully expecting in some aspects. And I know I like said that I cried. I've already said before I cried so much reading this book. I did. It was kind of embarrassing how much I cried, but I just like can't stop thinking about this specific book, and I don't know. I know it's not like everybody's favorite Kristen Hanna. Everybody has their own favorite Kristen Hanna, and I like
never read her.
Totally am.
But I feel like The Great Alone is like I think if you were to poll everyone that's read Kristen Hanna, that would still come out on top. Like,
I would be like
favorite.
The top 3, you know, like for a lot of people.
Okay.
I think just stories like this, I don't know why they stick with me so much, but they do. And I'm very curious where I want to go somewhere else with Kristen Hanna. I don't know what to read next because I feel like all the 4 books I've read are pretty consistently like a lot of people's top Kristen Hanna. So I'm like, okay,
yeah,
I don't know where to go.
Her
next.
backlist is pretty big.
It is very.
I remember when I thought
Kendra
she was like
she was. I was just about to say that. I thought she was a fake person.
She was a fake person. It was just like a bunch of like ghostwriters writing her books, and then like I saw an actual picture of her in like interviews and stuff. And no, it was not until I got to the end of The Great Alone, and it was her author's note talking about how like she had lived in something similar as Lenny, and I was just like, oh, you're real? What? That's crazy. But low key, it still could be like Frida McFadden. Like, did you see her on the red carpet for The Housemaid? She's like wearing, like, she doesn't want anyone to know who she like really is. And people still think that this could be like a decoy person because apparently in real life, Frida McFadden is like a doctor, like a physician, and still practices.
Oh, I did know that, yeah.
They put her in this like horrible wig.
Fuck ass
It is like the most awful wig. Yeah. And I'm like, she's so, and like these awful glasses. And I'm like, you're not making as much money as Frida McFadden and looking like that. And I don't mean that in a mean way. It's just like even when you're going on like red carpet events, like they're going to style you a certain way to look good. And they're purposely styling her to look bad. So she's very protective
cunty little mask,
of her face. Or like, what's that narrator that used to do that? Isn't he canceled now?
Yeah, Joe,
Arden. Yeah, he would walk around with that mask.
Loser.
Like, yeah, do that with her, bro. Such a fucking loser. Oh my god.
Yeah, read this also like right before I went to Alaska. But like one of my favorite things when I was in Alaska, I remember. Now I wasn't like near where this fictional town was, but she like gives like it's 30 minutes from this big town that's like real, right? And I remember like when we were in Alaska, I would like look up like where the fictional town of Trappers Crossing from The Simple Wild would be, as close to like Whittier, Alaska, and how close that was to like where Lenny grew up in this fictional town of. And I don't know, I just like loved looking at like that. And yeah, books that take place in the wilderness. I love you so much.
Yeah. Another Julia Whalen like masterpiece too.
Oh yes,
she slays that audiobook. Oh my god.
Yeah, this book came out a while ago. Like
16?
what, 8? Yeah, it came out like 8 or 9
2018?
years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
It's been a while, but it still holds true to this day. So that's my list. Brandi, what's your number
That's the
one?
list.
Oh, I know what your number one is, of course.
My number one, to the shock of no one, because I've said it a billion times this year, is The Unmaking of June Farrow, which I also read in January. Both definitely better now, and The Unmaking of June Farrow I read in January. I've been waiting all year for something to unseat this, but nothing has. The
Wow.
Unmaking of June Farrow is by Adrienne Young. It is a story of June Farrow, and it is a story of time travel. This is on the back of the book, so I'm not spoiling anything. My favorite thing about this book is it's a story about love in all of its different forms: romantic, familial, friendship. It's a story at its core about mothers and daughters, and it's about a curse, and
Just need to read it, okay?
I just say you gotta read it. I can't explain it. I love it so much. I love the journey that June goes on. I noticed a theme on my list. I have 3 books about time travel on my list.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. So that's funny. I really love this book. I've read it twice this year, and both times I'm just such a fan of this one. So my number one.
You might also be confused reading the first, like, maybe a little bit, maybe more like the middle.
I never was. I wasn't with this one.
Okay,
like
good.
I was with her the whole time. But some people were like, I don't get it. And I'm like, you're
Just
not
wait.
supposed to. Oh,
Yeah.
I also, there's a thread of mystery in this book too, which
There
I
is,
loved
yeah.
as well. There's a murder that happened that like you're trying to figure out what's going on. Loved that. So I was never confused in this book, but some people do get confused. Push through if you get confused. It's the payoff's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, my number one, to no
I wonder
shock.
what it is.
Because I didn't put it as my number one last year because I was like, oh my God, it's coming out this year. And truly a testament to the book because nothing that I read personally this year beat it, like at all. And that is Promise Me Sunshine by Kayla.Books. Won't waste your time. Go listen to the episode that we had with her where we literally like reading the book back to her word by word, being like, and this, and this, and this, and this. Like we were so
You wrote
impressed.
this. And she's like,
I just love that book. I always like, if I have to think of nice things, like that is always something that like comes up in my brain, you know, as like things that like make me happy. And it is that story. And it is just like a true, like they're just like meant to be like Lenny and Miles, like in their whole journey. And holy fuck, is it written so well. And like only in like a Cara Bastone way. Now listen, since NetGalley is being a little bitch and not giving me approving my request, they're not even denying it. I can't speak on her books
Just
for
letting
next
you
year.
sit in limbo.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So you know what? I don't know how good No Matter What is, but I will be locked in with Cara Bastone. I can confidently say off of 2 books, no, because I've read more than 2 books, off of her backlist alone, but truly off the strength of just her new slate of books, like I would be locked in no matter what. Like,
Oh yeah.
oh my gosh, is she just such a wonderful writer? Like, I feel like her and Alex Harrow, like when you talk about like the craftsmanship in their story and like what they do to actually tell a story and like putting everything together and like what here makes sense with word choice, you know, like people talk about like, the economy of words, like they know how to use that really well. And I just love that when it comes to books and storytelling. And I love Promise Me Sunshine. But yeah, it was like a part of me wish that I could have put it on my list last year, but then like I'm just so glad that Slow Dance was. Anyways, we don't have to get all into all that.
that's why
Because I
Promise Me
did do
Sunshine
the
was my number 2 last year because Slow Dance was
yeah.
it was hard. It was hard.
It's hard.
Yeah.
But I did listen to the audiobook of Promise Me Sunshine this year because that's when we had access to it, thanks to PRH Audio. And please don't kick Brandi and I out of the program. We apologize for slacking this year. But the audiobook was so good, and I was nervous because I didn't know if Alex Fink was going to just like sound like Eve from Ready or Not, because I think like the humor is very similar in the both books, but she just does such a good job of like differentiating all of her characters to me, because she even did Passion Project and I was like, she sounds like the girl in Passion Project. Like I'm
Bennett.
not thinking of anyone else. Yeah, she sounded like Bennett. So her performance as Lenny and her performance as Miles, because I had read it physically, like there were moments that like I was ready to listen to, and so then like hearing her delivery of them, they were like damn near identical to like what I was reading them as in my head, and like that's always like a joy when you like go back and do the audio instead of doing the audio first. So Oh my God, I love, love, love that book. Also, my
Yeah.
stomach is like growling, you guys. It's like you need to feed. I ate like half a Pop-Tart before we started this podcast.
We've been talking for
but
a
my
long
stomach is like
time.
enough. I know.
We've
Just
been talking
little
for so long. Our
yapparoonies.
AirPods are dying.
Yeah, guys, I had to switch headphones in the middle of this. I hate looking at myself in these, and I'm like, oh my God. I was like, oh. Yeah,
we
we've just
had
been
a lot to say.
yapping away.
Yeah.
If there's one episode that should be this long, it's
Of course.
basically our end of year wrap up.
Well, guys, that was our list, and we're cautious but excited for next year's reading.
26.
We'll see.
Guys, I'm so removed. It's like I can't even tell you what the fuck is coming out next year besides like Cherry Baby by Rainbow Rowell, which I think I'm gonna make my first read of the year because I've been like saving it. And then Cara Baston's new book. But like everything else, I'm like, what the, and Rachel Gillig's new book.
Rachel
But everything else, I'm
Gillig.
like, what the fuck is coming out? And we just did our winter releases episode.
I know we
too.
did. I think next year's truly gonna be like the year of the bookish adaptation because there's so much coming out, which again we also have a full episode on.
Pump
So
the
I feel like
brakes.
yeah, maybe. I mean, there's Carly Fortune, Abby Jimenez.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
No
Oh,
Emily.
see, guys, no Abby Jimenez on our list.
No Abby on our list.
Oh wow!
Not
But
even honorable mentions.
hopefully she makes
Hopefully she bounces back.
Comeback.
Yeah. We still love her. We still love her. We just didn't love her last one, that's all. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys. Well, we hope you guys had a good reading year. If you didn't and you're looking for some good reads, then we just gave you a bunch. So hopefully you can enjoy some of those that we mentioned. If you have any favorites that you share with us, make sure to let us know. We would love to hear your guys' favorites list or least favorites list. You can let us know either on Instagram or on Patreon. We have a post about that as well. If you want to listen to our book club episode, we did a live discussion the other day. That's also up. And we have a lot of really fun things coming in 2026 that we're really excited about. And we can't wait to chat with you guys about everything. So it's great to see you guys. Great to chat. Hopefully you enjoyed the video format.
Camera.
If you're still here,
Yes.
I can't believe it. Shocking. Thanks for listening, guys. We love you. Bye.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.